Could Lanzarote be the perfect winter gravel destination? That's my goal to try to establish in the next few days. I'm staying at Club La Santa, a superb sports facility with road, mountain and gravel bikes available to guests, like this Cannondale Topstone. And almost immediately we leave the road. When it comes to road biking, Lanzarote and the Canary Islands are kind of second fiddle to mainland Spain and particularly Mallorca. And I think that's a shame because the weather here is just more reliable. The first real big sandy patch. I know mainland Spain pretty well. My folks retired out there, but my preference is for Lanzarote, just because of the weather and because of the roads. However, I've always been tempted by these off-road tracks, and now that gravel bikes are a thing, it gives me a chance to explore them. It's funny really, you've got two road networks quite distinct. You've got an on-road and an off-road network. And obviously the people who live here, if they've got four-wheel drives, can use both. I'm really not sure what the off-road riding will be like, so it's hard to judge how long a route to plan. Using suggestions from Komoot, I've gone for 2 loops so I can bail out early. From Club La Santa on Lanzarote's north coast, the first loop is on 4-wheel drive tracks. It uses part of the Gran Goanache Audax route. The second loop goes into the natural park of the volcanoes. It's not national park, so cycling is permitted, but once I get off-road, I have no idea if the trails are rideable. Finding out will be part of the fun. This is what I came here for. Feels like riding a bike on the surface of the moon, I imagine. Only a bit more gravity. This is quite astonishing when you look at the volcanic rubble, I suppose, on either side of the trail. And then you think somehow they managed to cut a path or a car jeep track through here. What a lot of work someone has put in. I mean, I really couldn't feel further from the Scottish Highlands than I do right now, surrounded in volcanic rubble, a really harsh wind blowing into my face, but feeling very, very happy to be riding in such a spectacular spot. I'm not sure how clearly you could see what it was I've been riding on just here, but this is very, very rough pumice that would slash a tyre open and would do worse to your body, I think. When it grinds down, this is what it turns into, just volcanic dust. It had all been going so well. And then I've hit this narrow, twisty, loose bit that I don't really want to risk riding because, frankly, if you come off on this, I think you'd rip your legs open. Not to mention damaging your bike. Legs, arms, head, anything. I was just reading in the interpretive board that the last eruption around here was in 1730 to 1736. So actually, some of this is, I suppose, relatively recent, certainly in geologic time. But one of the things that really strikes me is how different parts of the mountain are. God, a lot of loose stuff there is on the ground to pull your wheel. I mean, this is completely different to what I was walking through back there. That was all black and relatively sterile. This has got plants and all sorts. Quite different. It is a bit of a quirk of this island that whatever direction you are riding in, you always seem to have a bit of a headwind. I hope this is coming across because this is absolutely astonishing cycling. It is beautiful in a very stark, challenging way. And so far I've only seen 2 people on e-mountain bikes. The rest of the time I've had Lanzarote to myself. There are bits like this which are a little unfortunate. Feels a bit slidey. Yeah, ankle push. One of the guys, when I was on a camp here, went out for a run of an evening and fell over. A couple of years later, he still had the imprint of where the volcanic dust or rock cut into his, I think it was his wrist. It was like a tattoo. It got under whatever that layer of skin is. Got right underneath that. And even when he got home, he couldn't get rid of it. Right. So Gan Cani. Hi. Well, that's good to know now I've done it. It is actually a bicycle route. Good. Now there is something rather important that I've not really mentioned. In case you were wondering, that gives you an idea just how windy it is here today. And quite frequently on Lanzarote. Good training conditions though. And in the next video it gets a lot worse when I find myself in a sandstorm. At first glance, there doesn't look to be much order in this sort of, well, maze. And yet, these all have names. They're streets, and clearly well laid out. Some people have got good walls that they maintain, others, well, less so. This is really just part of the settlement. Probably the fields that have been distributed around families over the years. Which brings us back to the village of La Santa, not far from Club La Santa, where I quite fancy a coffee. I just have to trundle down the road now to Club La Santa, but if you have enjoyed watching this, it would be great if you'd give me a thumbs up. If you haven't yet subscribed, that is also fantastic. And if you have any questions, just stick them down below and I'll do my best to answer them. In the meantime, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.